Good.
Okay, welcome to Culture, Tourism and Communications Committee, Wednesday, 27th of November. We've got apologies for absence from Councillor Ryan and Councillor Hannah Hunter. Right then, just need somebody please to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Happy to do that.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. And then we need an update from Ian on the actions from the previous meeting, please.
Thank you, Chair. There's not too many. The first one is number 18, which relates to purchasing cheese and wine for a function next year. And we had a discussion prior to the meeting, and it's proposed we postpone that until April 25, when we're in a better position with financial budgets.
Yeah.
The next one is being deferred to January in any case, number 26. We then have number 44, which is Councillor Jarvis's, providing an update on the Oktoberfest stroke.
Blues.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give an update on that. I think it's since the last meeting. I've been around with letters to a number of premises in Mumbles. There's 14 I delivered to in the end. Even the ones like Felwins, for example, I went in there, explained what I was showing the letter, they kept letters, said, we don't actually play music, but a fantastic idea. I said, are you going to take part? Probably not, but I love the idea. Everyone thinks it's a great idea. I know some bars will. Up at the top of Newton Road, it's like there's you've got Mumbles and a few other bars nearby. What they wanted, before I said anything, they said they could organise amongst themselves to have it bands at different times, so you can go around. I thought that's what we're after.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Some bars think are closed in winter, like Ponderosa, so you can catch up with them in the spring. Now, what I'm going to do, won't be this weekend because I'm having my family Christmas before I go away. Next week, and that weekend, I'll go around the bars again just to confirm who is and isn't in. I've had one email back saying, yeah, they're in, that's from the Vic. They'll be going all day probably. So it's all positive so far. What I'm going to do before I go away as well, I'm going to contact Swansea Building Society again, just to say where we are, to keep those on board, because although we won't get sponsorship off them, they can give us lots of help and guidance and things in raising money, because it's what they're involved with a lot. What I've started to do, I'm thinking well ahead really, but I'll try and speak to a few people next week. All the money raised, I have a policy. I'll pass this around. If you've got any other ideas, write it on it. First one is all money raised will go to Mumbles Folk and Blues. Money raised will pay for advertising and banners and for the bands. If there's enough money, the bands will be paid for in full. If there's insufficient money to pay for the bands in full, each venue will be given a share of the money to pay towards the band's hire. When I was in the Vic, when I first spoken about it, and bear in mind they probably put more bands on than anyone else, so they said, why are you going to pay for the bands? I said, well, some are quite small venues, and maybe would help off, as you said, you know. So when you explain things, people are all in favour of it. But if there's a surplus once bands and advertising is paid for, the surplus will go towards the following year's Mumbles Folk and Blues. Now it's something we can decide on. We can decide on before the time. It's the first weekend of October next year. As that's easy to remember, if you had aimed to have perhaps the first weekend of every October, it would be easy to remember. And if it is, maybe just a bit small next year and grow from it, just like the Elvis Festival did.
Yeah.
You know? Is there anyone, or any money raised will probably be held on account by in our back account, expect? Not a separate back account?
When do you envisage the first fundraising event to take place?
next year.
Okay.
For next June. But what I was advised by Tony Rees from Swansea Building Society is you don't want to have it too early because people won't be interested and people forget about it. Have it just a few months and in the summer when people are want to go out in the sunshine and everything and get celebrities involved just as a face, if you like, so people buy tickets for the event. So if anyone that knows people, there's a couple of people I know that are sort of a bill of celebrities, approach those nearer the time.
The only thing I would say about the money, if it's raising money, maybe we need to look at the fortune so that you know how much you've got in the pot ready to spend.
Well, perhaps, but what I put in the letter is there's no guarantee we can give you any money. But that fund is held. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I sort of agree with Ange about that. If we had it maybe April time, that's when the weather starts to warm up, the lighter evenings. It's almost like a sort of, oh, hooray, we're out of winter sort of thing. Let's go to this event. With regards to sponsorship, firstly, I don't see why we should be paying for the bands for venues, because this is a good way for them to promote themselves, to be part of something, and that is their contribution to the sponsorship themselves, is by paying for a band. And Swansea Building Society do sponsor. I mean, I know you've worked hard on this, but they're sponsoring the Maggie's concert in the arena on Thursday, and they sponsored it last year, and they sponsor a number of other things. Seeing as they have a branch in Mumbles,
Yeah.
and Alan, their CEO, is from Newton originally, maybe we can try and push them a bit on giving us something to help us start off.
On that, perhaps it's something he's holding back, but everything he said some sound, and he's got contacts for us as well. But with helping to pay the bands if we can, it's a way of getting more venues involved. So we can have a foundation and build it from there. We'll see how much money we really
Yeah. But I would certainly go for maybe an April time, because we've got Mumfest in June. So rather than clash the two, and have two sort of fairly large events, or one really large event and one sort of fundraising for another large event, it might be better to go just a little bit earlier. And when it starts to warm up and people are dying to do something and having a night out, then that's my only sort of something to think about.
Yeah, and any ideas about fundraising, would you like us to contact you, email you?
Yeah, I'll try and when we attend some meetings. The time difference, probably won't be doing culture meetings because it's just.
How long are you away for?
You know.
Didn't realise.
For a go,
Yeah.
then take it from there, and it's the first time we've done it. I suspect not as many bars will take part as we'd like, first of all. But all these things, they just start off small.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good idea. It's a great idea.
Well, that's all the update I got at the moment.
Okay, well, thank you for all you've done.
Yeah, once I've been round the bars again before I go away, we won't be at the next meeting. I'll send you all an email just to update what I found.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much.
And the last one, Chair, is number 6. And this relates to the carousel that we proposed to put outside. And subject to the action, I met with yourself, Mark and Diane on the 12th of November, and it was decided to postpone that until we know more about the redevelopment of Austria.
Yeah.
So I was going to
Close that off, yeah.
And that concludes the actions.
Fabulous, thank you. Right then, if we can just move floral decorations up here to discuss that, if you don't mind, just before we head into the budget monitoring report. And shall I hand over to you, Paul, for the quotation that we've had? from the floral decorations, or do you want me to
Yeah,
do that?
that's fine, thanks, Chair. We get this every year. The Swansea Council give a quote for the decorations. They give two because the Environment Committee and the council as a whole were quite keen several years ago now to go for peat-free decorations. That's the one that's been selected in the last few years. The two quotes we've had, if you exclude VAT, peat reduced is 8,672, and peat free is 9,601. And currently, the committee in the current has got a budget of 9,900. So it's accepting the peat free quote would still be under what's in the current budget. So if you carry that forward, you'd have £300 to put something else. Not a huge amount, but obviously if you went for the peat reduced, then you'd have a larger amount. You'd have a 1,300 available.
I think if we went for the peat reduced over the peat free, we would have more money available, but I think perhaps it's best to go with peat free. I think. So do we recommend that to full council? Do we that we would do that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we want. A recommendation from the committee to accept whichever quote you want to accept, and then in December the council will accept it, and then I can inform Swansea Council which one we want to go with next year. Okay,
no problem. Do we need to vote on that, Paul? Here now.
Yeah, you have to agree the recommendation.
Peat free, the 9,000 quote that we've got the money in for. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so that's forward. And then the next item on the agenda is the budget monitoring report, Paul.
Yeah, I did try sharing this shot just before the meeting, but unfortunately I can't find this one to share, but I'll just talk you through it. It's fairly straightforward. A lot of the things are coming through after Christmas, obviously the Christmas lights and the Christmas parties that are currently being organised, so they're not appearing at the moment because this is only up to the end of September. The only item which is showing an overspend is Mumbles Fest. It's currently showing just under 1,600. There's 500 due back from Swansea Council for the bond for the grounds, and that was received in October. So you'll see that appearing next month. And so that will give us about £1,000 overspend on expenditure for Mumbles Fest, but that's been covered by the income. So overall, Mumbles Fest, once you take income and expenditure into account, there's an underspend of just over £400, which is, I think, it's a great result for that big and that successful. There is I think a potential saving as well on newsletter distribution, as council decided last month, I think it was, not to post newsletters to each address in the area. Then that £800 budget is probably going to be reduced depending on how many do get posted because they've been requested. So there's a potential saving there. And Festoon lighting, Mumbles Road, that's for maintenance. Again, there's been nothing spent this year, although we did via some of that to the Halloween party in the hub. So there's two areas where there are potential in the current year's budget. Whether anybody's got any questions?
Just multimedia consultant, that's SA3, yeah?
SA1, yeah.
SA1.
Yeah, that's a fixed amount every month, so that'll be spot on.
And the story of Mumbles, that's gone up.
It's gone up
from 12,898 to 18.
Yeah, it did last year. Last year there was an increase in this year there was an increase in the amount paid every month to Gower Unearthed, and there was additional cost put in for the keep of the website.
Okay, and do we estimate that will be the same then this year? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we'll come to that when we do the budget for next year. So that will be that. I think that again it depends on what happens over the course of the year. That will be potential and underspend as well, but depends on what costs are do come in between now and the end of the year.
Whole food traders and the bars paid from last year.
Do you mean the current year or do you mean last year?
Well, both, I suppose. I meant this current year that we've just done, but I guess for both. Are we up to
Yeah,
date?
current year's all been paid. There's still some outstanding which I'm chasing on the previous year.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? No, we're good on that.
Okay, so just so the committee can approve the budget monitoring report then for that
There you go.
September.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. And then we need to look at more to do with the budget, don't we, Paul?
Yeah, I'll bring that up now. Right, can you see that in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we need to do today is the draft budget 25-26. That's next year, so that's the budget that will be recommended to council at the end of January. So we need to complete those figures by working down line for line. With the first three, they're all Christmas lights. I would suggest you probably need to add an inflation onto those, probably around 5%, because no doubt the costs will increase next year.
A lot, isn't it, the Christmas stuff?
Yeah.
So if you added 5% to Christmas motifs, that would make it 7,900.
Yeah.
So whether everybody's happy to go with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you add 5% to the Christmas trees, that's another 500. So that would make that 11,100.
Yeah. And is that trees? That's the lights on the trees, and that's the putting up of the trees and the lights, is it? All
Yeah,
in?
that's also the electric for running them, and also we pay £100 a year to Swansea Council to rent that little bit of land that the trees go on. So that's all covered by that budget.
What in every ward we pay that?
Yeah.
So just to clarify, in every ward we're paying £100 for the trees to Swansea Council.
Not in Newton, but in Mayle, West Cross, Oystermouth, and for Southend Gardens as well. It's £100. It's what they call an estate rent, so it's a lease that we negotiate with them. I don't know, a while ago now, before my time.
Paul, can I just ask you, does every ward in Swansea pay that for putting up a Christmas tree?
I don't know, Rob. I suspect so, but no guarantee.
Okay. So we're going to increase that by 5%. That will be okay.
I think an inflationary increase, I think is fine. I don't think shouldn't be an issue with that.
Anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Without people putting up their prices for doing things as well.
Yeah, so that would be 11,100 then for that budget, if you're happy to agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's enough, Paul? Because electricity is going to go up anyway. That, and with people charging more because they're paying out more to run their businesses. Do you think that's enough?
The 10,600 in the current year is enough, and that would have taken account of some increases in electricity costs. So I thought so. You could go for a higher figure. You go for say 7.5%.
Just want to pass over to Martin, please.
Yeah, I was just going to say the current inflation rate, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Paul, you know probably better than me, is about 2.2, 2.5.
Yeah, just about that.
We're going at an inflation rate which is double that.
Yeah, we're allowed.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're putting a bit of contingency there. I got to admit, you know, saying that, I went shopping on the market last weekend and I was just shocked.
Absolutely.
I know. You know, some of the prices we're paying there. But I think if we go for 5%, I think we've built a bit of a contingency in there. And personally, I think 5% will be enough. Personally, that's just what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So 11,100.
Yeah.
Okay, 5% on the 600, which is the inspection that Phillips do of the trees in Southend Garden for the lights.
Do they have to do that every year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think it's safety, health and safety to the public. I think we would need to do that.
Okay, yeah, go on then.
So I would say put that up to 650.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't budgeted for new Christmas motifs or new Christmas lights this year. I think it was taken out on the at the budget meeting in January last year.
It has been taken out, I think, the last couple of years.
So I think probably we may as well leave it as nil again for those two.
Yeah, I mean, there is a proposal to increase the amounts because I think they're looking tight in line with current policy. So that's later, isn't it? Further down.
Yeah, the budget proposed is later, so that can be if that's successful, then that will cover the those two areas.
Okay. Community parties.
Community parties is on £750 per ward. Happy to keep it at that level.
I think so. Yes. Yeah. There's plenty, isn't it? Does it need to drop? Do you think? Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a drop to 650.
I think in most of them we will spend.
Yeah, 750.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it the same with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Coffee with Friends is currently 2,000. I think that looking at what we spent this year, I think that's probably sufficient for next year as well.
Yeah.
I mean, given that story mumbles went up so much already, does that need to have any?
It went up. Yeah, it went up quite a lot last year. So I haven't heard anything from Will. Will usually comes to me if there's anything additional he wants included in this budget. So I think potentially you could keep that at 18,000. And if Will's got any issues, he can raise it at council.
I think that needs to be negotiated for that particular contract, so keep it at that level.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the floral decoration. So I put 9,600 in there.
Just accept it, yeah.
So then you've got £300 then on last year, which you could put somewhere else, which would be environment within the committee. So it wouldn't be additional money you'd be asking for.
Okay. So can we keep that until we something?
Keep that what? Sorry.
Until we need it for something, maybe we buy it over to something else.
Yes. Yeah. I think once you've been through the or as we carry on down, there may be somewhere where you think we need an extra 300, so we put that in there as environment rather than new budget, increased budget.
Can we put it to Mumbles Fest? And if we don't use it for Mumbles Fest, we can move it to St David's Day.
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah.
Okay, newsletter printing. It was an increase last year. This year what the previous year was. I guess they will probably at least go up by inflation. So that's a hundred.
Maybe any
But yeah, are we not? No, we're not printing so many now. Are we? That's the intention.
Print it next penalty.
Yeah, there's less, so that's easier, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's, yes, the next two then is the newsletter printing and the distribution. So I guess we need to decide how many or roughly how many we think we're going to print and deliver, or have in the office, or leave in cafes or restaurants or whatever, or pubs, and then that we can reduce those figures then by an equivalent amount then for the saving in the printing and delivery.
Claire's guessing 700 to 1,000 will be plenty.
We should print 8,000.
Okay, because they usually print 8. Do you think of halving that?
Out the line to most people to have 1,000. That's still quite a lot, isn't it?
Still.
I think that's too many. Maybe like 500 to 700. But we can put them in libraries, coffee shops. You know, we can put them in public areas. I would say about 700.
I think there's definitely potential.
Based on what 8,000 that price there.
I think there's potential to make a significant saving there.
I mean, I can get quotes, obviously, to get exact figures, but I would shave.
Shall we halve it for now, or do you want to just drop it to 2? That's still shaving off 1,250.
We won't need to distribute a paper distribution, will we? So we can save there.
Yeah.
I think was the intention that if some residents did ask for it, then we would deliver it, or
Yeah, that's fine.
just depend on anybody coming forward asking.
Yeah, and so therefore you have to either put a stamp on it or drop it.
I'm gonna ask, like,
Not many.
it's gonna be very.
We've got a postage, small postage budget in office costs anyway, which we never use, which is not part of this committee. So you could use that, I guess.
And in this day and age, we've got to think about printing less, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Paul, in terms of a price to put there?
I would say probably half it for now, because that will then give you, if it does come in less than that will give the committee some budget that it could use potentially next year. So maybe reduce it to 1750.
Yeah.
1750 and 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next budget then is twinning.
Were they short this year? Did they have to put in a little bit of their own?
Would you expect
I think it may be, in the past, it's been based on £1,500 every year, but then it did get reduced to 1,000. So I think maybe that was missed. So it was then slightly over, but I think if everybody's aware that it's 1,000 in future, then that's what the twinning subcommittee would stick to, unless they transferred, use their own councillors' allowances for it.
Yeah, exactly. £1,000 then.
I mean, there is a twinning association, so you would expect them to be able to fundraise some to put towards it as well, rather than just us pay for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, next item then is the St. David's Day event and Dragon Parade. I think it's not something we've spent over the last few years.
No, it's not. It's not something we have. We've just added another 250 to that there just earlier, haven't we, when we tried it.
It doesn't have to be a high cost event.
And I mean, it's a St. David's Day event. There's nothing saying we have to have a Dragon Parade. It's a St. David's Day event. It's marking St. David's Day. That's what we're doing.
Well, the dragon also needs a lot of work just doing to it, doesn't it? So that's going to cost a bit.
Yeah.
It is costly.
So if we want to repair the dragon, then we'd have to, or do we just leave the dragon?
I can amend the title if you want to just St. David's Day event.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that then. The dragon Day.
Well,
No, I think the actual dragon we own. I mean, would we need to consider a new one?
well, we seem to pay out quite a lot every couple of years for this.
Yeah.
How much was the dragon? Not.
It was said every few years we pay to maintain it. And is it worth it?
For one
For one
thing, yeah.
day, yeah.
And also, we haven't spent this money out in the past couple of years, have we?
No.
So we could just keep it at that and then. if it
Yeah,
happens,
exactly. Keep it at that for now.
Yeah.
Is it the intention to have a St David's event this year?
Yeah,
There is, because
Sorry?
if not, I could carry forward last year's budget. If you're going to have an event, then fine, no problem.
Yeah, I think we're quite keen to celebrate it. We hadn't done last year, so I think it is the intention to celebrate it. So yeah, keep that in there, please.
Okay, great. Festoon lighting on Mumbles Road. This is the maintenance amount that we've got in. Didn't spend it last year. Haven't this year so far. I'm not sure how much is if it's still working while they're doing the
so I mean,
the
it's
seawall work.
it hasn't been working for a couple of months as far as I guess. Well,
Well, it was taken down, wasn't it, for all the works?
yeah.
So there's only one string of it outside Joe's ice cream, I think. So that'll have to be refitted because it was our lights.
I think we'll have to make inquiries about this to find out what the situation is, Paul.
Yeah, they took it down.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry,
It's
didn't
not-
catch that, Martin.
I think we'll have to make inquiries as to what the situation is at the moment because it doesn't appear to be there.
Right, okay. But if it's been taken down as part of the works, then it should be put back up as part of the works. But yeah, I'll speak to Swansea Council.
We need to work out. Because, you know, if it's going to be put up as part of the work, then we don't have to pay maintenance on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
They are putting it back.
Yeah.
And any that aren't working when we put it back up, they need to pay for because they've obviously damaged it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll put it up. But
Yeah, I'm sure. So,
order they're spending down there, there's nothing.
No.
so we do it the same, but not for them to put it up. Obviously, they put it up because they took it down.
Yeah.
We use that if we need it. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's probably prudent to put £1,000 in again next year in case any repairs are needed, which we will have to fund rather than the contractor or Swansea Council.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the amount that's paid to SA1 for the multimedia consultant, £700 a month. It did increase 2 years ago, maybe. I'm not aware of them asking for any more now. So I think probably that could stay the same.
Yeah, the same. Quite nice to look at the deeper package that they offer us, isn't it? What they
I think
that money.
we've had a lot more this month, Paul, so there might be an increase this month.
Well, I wouldn't pay it because it's fixed £700 a month.
Mm.
Oh, I thought that there was an agreement if there were over hours.
I wasn't aware of that. Nothing's been claimed in the past on it.
Maybe it swings
If
around.
it happens. We'll deal with it then.
You know, I would have thought we've got a contract with them, and the fixed contract, like this, what Paul's saying, is £700 a month. It's like what we're saying with the story bundles thing. It needs to come back. It needs to come back and be
Oh yeah,
renegotiated as a contract.
yeah. Just quickly on the story bubbles because Will's here now. If you don't mind scrolling up for just a second, Paul, please, to the story mumbles. Just we agreed to keep it the same. Will, is that okay?
Yeah, cool. It went up last year. I don't think there's any pressing things. So yeah, if it's the same as last year, that's fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's
Okay,
good then.
thanks. Okay, so we'll keep the multimedia consultant the same. Coronation celebration, that's a year or so ago, so there'll be nothing for that. Warm Hubs 2000, that looks online again this year. I don't think that there'll be an issue with that staying the same next year.
There's not what going on. Mumbles popping the coffee and cake one. There is no. Where is that? Just West Cross?
Well, as I understand it, we had money that we were going to use to do a theatre, a cinema up at the Newton Village Hall, but West Cross has had the money for the Warm Hub. I mean, surely in the fairness of things, there should be money available for each ward to have a Warm Hub or an activities hub. Call it.
So,
So
need to look at what's been spent already then.
yeah, so maybe we need to.
Is that the same? But make sure it's divvied up fairly. per
It
ward.
needs to be
Yeah.
divvied up fairly per ward.
Yeah, keep it the same, but can we just make sure it's divvied up between all 4 wards rather than, yeah.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Mumbles Fest last year was 28,000 with a income budget of 7,500. There is a proposal to increase it as well. So I don't know whether you want to leave this for now and then come back to it when you get to the proposal, Chair.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're down to the new budget proposals, 3 that that I'm aware of. The first one is the VE Day 80 event, which Claire put a proposal together for 1850. Any questions on that, or happy to include that in the budget, the draft budget?
To include it, I mean, you know, yeah,
Might come in less than that. So
Yeah.
if it's
she's priced, yeah.
It's my birthday as well.
like, yeah, special guest.
Yeah, so keep that the same then, Paul.
Right,
Oh,
okay. So then you've got the Your Grow Mumbles Fest chair, an increase of 10,000.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? Yeah, maybe that's mainly to, you know, I suppose be able to offer more at the event, really, of acts which will attract more people and be able to put on a bit better event. I don't think it, you know, it'll improve it, to be honest.
Wait, see.
So that's just on top of the Mumbles Fest.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me asking, sorry, I know I'm not on this committee, what is the Grow Mumbles Fest?
Yeah, that's it.
It's Grow in the Mumbles Fest.
It's the same, it's you know,
I was a little confused at first.
I thought it was like growing like a green.
I think also, you know, like putting on an event anyways, is costly, and then year on year those costs increase, and security costs have increased, and last year
Everything did.
everything increased. We were way over, you know, in terms of those boards that you needed for the mud and everything. So
Well, if you tell all the other councillors, growing
we get it approved, yeah.
Can I just ask then, why haven't you put the current budget in the line above if you're?
Because that's a new proposal.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, what I said was we'd come back to Mumbles Fest once we know what the decision is on the Grow Mumbles Fest proposal. I think the 28,000 and the minus 7,500 for the income probably should be subject to a 5% increase for at least for inflation.
Yeah, I think, yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense. You just put in the 38 is what you're trying to get. I don't really see the point in having a separate budget line.
Is it because it has to go to full council?
Yeah. I think it's the managing it with full council, and also there's another item. Yeah, there's another item at the end of this process, at the end of this. But like, if we go to full council and say, right, this is what we need to put on Fest for next year, that's pretty straightforward. But then if there's a separate proposal then to grow Mumbles Fest into something else, you know, something a bit different, that's the extra money. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, can see.
Then the final one was to improve Mumbles Christmas lights because they're not currently in line with policy.
Move on, and can I
So, yeah.
suggest that Mumbles Fest then, if we add 5% of 28,000, that's an additional 1,400. So it would make it 29,400. Happy, everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at 5% on the income budget would be another 400. So that would be minus 7,900. So we're happy to leave the 10,000 in for the Grow Mumbles Fest, possibly with a different title to avoid confusion.
Yeah.
And then the final one, then, as you said, is the improvements to the Christmas lights. 15,000 you proposed, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the grant this year. Luckily, we've got the grant this year. And
Yeah.
we've found them, obviously, but the rest of the lights are not really, you know, in line with what we should be doing. And so, you know, they're probably going to cost a lot more than that, but it's put in there anyway. They might agree, but they do need it. And it's so tired. Yeah. I know, I agree. The problem is we are going to need a lot more than that, because if you think about how much it costs, you know, just to get one umbrella outside here to hire, you know, it's not cheap. But you don't, Mumble's looking tired. You want it to be really, but you know, asking for 15, I think will still be hard enough to get 15.
Yeah.
Cost more than that again. So
Yeah, not worried about that.
Okay, so happy to leave that in.
yeah,
Might be able to get
Okay.
a Welsh High Street grant for that, maybe.
probably good.
That sounds good.
Just improvement stuff off the SPF fund, yeah, might be looking into.
Is it worth us increasing that?
No, because it'd be contributed.
Okay.
Here, isn't it?
It's not warm, is it?
Very generous as old Richard, isn't he?
Okay, and then are we moving down then, Paul?
Okay, yeah, there's nothing else further down. There's no earmark reserves being brought forward. So unless there's any other budget proposals anybody wants to suggest now, and then obviously have to let me have a form ASAP, then this is the figure that the draft budget comes to, 115,450.
Can I just ask a question here, Paul, at this moment in time? We're going items 8 and 9 on the agenda then. Would we need to put a budget proposal in for those, or we'll talk about it first and then the budget proposal hasn't been put in for those items yet?
Yes, if there is going to be any budget implications, we would need a budget proposal.
Yeah, okay, which there might be then.
Yeah.
Okay, but we can, if we pause this now and then come back to it at the end with any additional figures we put in.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and if everyone's all right, may I move up the honour of Mumbles ahead of Essence of Mumbles, because Councillor Thomas is here now.
That's essence of mumbles, that the smell of mumbles.
Yeah, so if we just drop in here the honour of Mumbles and over to Will to explain more.
Yeah, okay, so I did a lot of work on this several years ago. I think the first year I came on to Community Council, because one of the old councillors, Helen Mitchell, she always used to organise a honour of Mumbles, and I think it was 2 a year, and they do an event with a dinner, and then it'd be a bit of a "this is your life" thing, you know, with the, you know, they wouldn't have the red book, but you know, you do a little presentation at the front, have a speech, and people could invite up to 20 members of their family, and that was paid for, right? So it was a nice event for, you know, I think it was 2 people that was, and I think it was, don't quote me on this, but I think we tried to get it one man, one male, one female every year, so it was felt gender spread as well. So I think that's what used to happen, pretty sure, from casting my mind back.
It was Peggy Jones and somebody else, wasn't it?
The last ones.
Yeah.
The last ones we did, yeah. Might have been Mike Poble? No, maybe Mike Pob.
Not sure.
Pompey? He definitely had it.
It might have been Pompey and
yeah. I think it was
Peggy.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember exactly who the last ones were, but yeah. Anyway, so that was quite good. It worked quite well, but it's obviously a lot of work for someone to organise, right? Like, you know, looking at Claire, it's more work for someone, right? So I think that's great, but simplifying it, not creating a load of extra work, might be just go on stage at Mumbles Fest, it out once a year, give a nice certificate, and just say this person's done this for the village, you know, and either the chair of culture or the chair of council goes up, whatever, and gives it to I think one person's probably enough, but if we wanted to do 2, I'm sure, you know, that's fine. So what I wanted to talk about is, firstly, is it worth introducing that? Now, I know some members of the public, which I won't say on because this is recorded, who, but they've suggested that we set up a separate group of people in the area to choose the person. Personally, I think we're elected by the people. That gives us the mandate to choose them, in my opinion. So I think it should be done by the council, because otherwise, who should choose it? Why should some member of the public choose it? At least we've been elected by people to make those sorts of decisions. So I think, you know, if everyone put forward a name and, you know, we sort of agreed on it, I'm sure we had a vote on it if we really had to. I'm sure everyone could come to an agreement on a name. What my question or idea or thing that I wanted to discuss in a little bit more detail is, now, you know, I get some crazy ideas. So, Honour of Mumbles, great. And if everyone thinks that's good enough, great. Freedom of Mumbles, right? It's just a little bit more, it's a little bit more fun, right? And we could create a town charter, village charter that was, again, just for a little bit of fun, where you can, on St David's Day, you can walk your sheep up Newton Road. And it says all these like silly little things in the thing. And
I've been hanged with a silk rope.
now, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Now, it might make us a bit of a laughing stock on social media, and people might think it's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. So that's what hell's this about? But as long as we, you know, put it out there from a playful angle, then maybe I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that it's a serious, you know, title like the Freedom of Gloucester, which some people are lucky to have. But yeah, I think that's just an idea really. Whether we do Honour of Mumbles, do it at Mumbles Fest, or we do the Freedom of Mumbles, which would be a little bit more expensive because you'd be given a sort of vellum-y, I'm not suggesting it's actual vellum either, but a nicer charter, like something to look a little bit.
There's a lot of money.
Yeah, they do cost a little bit more, yeah.
Well, and then we get them to walk up Newton Road and some kind of, you know, Welsh parade on St David's Day.
It's just we'd get one somewhere else, and it would just say.
You could do it on St David's Day.
You wouldn't exercise it, would you? I mean, Freeman of Wellington actually exercises their right to march their sheep up the high street, do they? I mean, it just doesn't happen because they don't got any sheep for a start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, those two things.
Or we could loan a sheep. Might get some
But
publicity.
it wouldn't be for us to do the sheep. It'd be that person's right to do X, Y, or Z. You know. So.
Okay, march through. Explain it.
So do we vote on this idea? Either idea, both ideas?
Well, we haven't got any proposal, have we?
I mean, I have actually. I dug it out. It's on my Google Drive. I have actually written it all, but I haven't circulated. I have written it from ages ago.
We'll have to have a proper proposal, really.
I think it's.
I gotta admit, we're gonna have to, also the thing, I can see where you're coming from, but especially with the Freedom of Mumbles, we'd have to have a cost in, won't we, really?
I don't think it costs anymore, but it's whether it's worth the.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. I think before I'm going to say vote on this and take this to council, we'll have to have some sort of proper proposal.
Well, why don't you just agree then to do the Honour of Mumbles?
Yeah.
Mumbles Fest.
Mumbles Fest,
Read
yeah.
it out, and you in this committee, you choose. Anyone can submit to this committee someone that they think is good.
When you say anyone, do you mean anyone in village? Any?
Yeah, I suppose. But maybe it's best for them to go through a councillor, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise you could get hundreds, couldn't you?
Just put forward how many recommendations, how many names.
Maybe you have to have, I mean, just throwing around ideas now, Ian, you might want to jump in on this, what you think would be easier to organise. Because if someone wanted to submit someone, you maybe need 2 or 3 people to agree.
Well, yeah.
You know? Otherwise you could just put anyone forward, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe,
Yeah, maybe names could be put forward. They can receive the backing of 2 councillors.
yeah. Yeah, you'd have to propose a seconder, third.
Also a second. I think.
Yeah, there we go. Proposer and a seconder and then they put it forward to this committee. this committee sifts them out and recommends them to full council, who obviously can, you know, maybe do it in closed because it's private.
Yeah. And maybe it's unlimited in terms of people could go to Martin and give you X amount of names, and you or myself. Or
I
whoever.
suppose as long as you're proposing and second, yeah.
Okay.
So the month before Mumbles Fest, you would choose one and go to full council, maybe a bit more. Yeah, just in case it might not listen.
And then we have a presentation.
And it goes into a closed session at the end of council, and then that person is agreed by council to have honour Mumbles.
Yeah. And then if people are up for the sheep idea afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing day on the Raz. I mean, it is a lot more rural up there, and they are able to actually drive their sheep through the streets.
They've got sheep to drive.
They've got sheep to drive to ride.
Of course. We can have e-bikes.
Okay, right then. Should we take a vote on that?
Is there any budget implications of that, or is it just going to be?
Small
it
budget.
doesn't sound as if there should be anything.
We can probably cover it. It's a Mumbles Fest, some sort of way.
Yeah.
I'd say 250, just in case those, you get something, two of them. Say you had two, and then, like you said, they're not cheap to get a nice one.
Not cheap.
So
That costs about £1,000. Isn't it?
Yeah.
that's actually that's handwritten now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to put in? 200?
It's up to you, obviously 250, probably enough, isn't it?
250 maximum, Paul?
Yeah, you could buy, and you could buy that from the floral decorations. You obviously saved £300 in that budget.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and we voted on that.
Yeah.
So just to move on then, Essence of Mumbles update. By the way, Tim, thank you so much for all the work that you did on that. A big success. Thank you, Will, also. I heard it was a good success, Tim.
Oh, thanks, Chair. Well, 3 more days. It will finish by the end of this week. So we're going to, dismantle the panels and just wait for 2025 to think whether we will organize next round. And on top of,
Sorry, Tim.
thanks. On top of that, I would like to thank everyone involved, especially.
Sorry, Tim. We change it up a little bit, please. I can't hear him that well. Sorry, Tim. We're just turning your volume up so I can hear you.
All right.
Talk louder, Tim.
Yeah, talk a little bit louder.
Right, I'm close enough. I said in 3 days the exhibition will be completed, and me and Martin will definitely have a meeting to review the process to see whether we've learned anything from this project, and hopefully going forward we'll do another one in 2025. Also use this opportunity to thank everyone involved, especially Claire, Ian, and also small businesses involved behind the scene as well. So that's about it, really. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Will you come back and share with us then what you feel you could have done differently, maybe after you've had the review? After you've had the review with Martin, will you share with us
Oh, yes.
one of the points from that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is item 9. Martin received an email, didn't you, Martin?
Yeah.
And it was from a resident, actually, proposing this idea, which by the sounds of it I quite like, but we're just about to share with you now.
Yeah, okay. As I said, I received an email from somebody, and they were on about baby loss awareness week. This particular individual, I don't know what the particular case, but they had unfortunately lost a baby themselves, but they were quite keen that we do something in the community to mark baby loss awareness. And that got me thinking just more generally that as a council, there are a number of events that go on throughout the year, such as baby loss awareness, mental health awareness, suicide awareness, and things like this. And as we know, City Council do a lot of these things where they light up the Guildhall. And I was just sort of thinking it would be nice if we could do something like that on a smaller scale in Mumbles, really. Because I just think it'd be a way of sort of engaging with these events, you know, cancer awareness, all the different events that we've got going on throughout the year. So the proposal is, and it's just a general proposal, that we get some lighting equipment just so that either we could light up. I was thinking we'd have to look into it with the pricing wise, but we could think about lighting up maybe the front of the Ostrom Centre here, and we could do something on our social media just to get the conversation going, really. And I just thought we could do that with a very small budget.
Yeah, personally, I really like the idea. I feel like we could mark the occasion and we can add it on social media, as you've said, and it's a way of us engaging and marking various events or weeks or, you know, lots of things, lots of scope with that. And I think it will be at a minimum cost with the lights. So it just needs to be explored how much that would actually cost us. But if we take a vote on that, I mean, I'm up for the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
So in terms of moving that forward, do we just need to get a cost on the?
We just need to get a cost, and we need to put a budget proposal into Paul ASAP, really.
Okay.
Sorry, Chair. Yeah, there's no recommendation from full council on that one. It's just an action at the moment. Is that correct?
We will need to go to full.
To full council, yeah.
It will. Sorry.
But
Okay.
who's going to take this forward in doing the costing? You want me to do it?
I don't know. It's going to be one of us or can it be an officer? Or?
I've got
Yeah.
I've got the electricians coming on Friday.
Well, assuming if you could just ask that's the sort of advice we need. If you could just just a quick thing, nothing too expensive. I don't think we need anything too posh. Something similar at Christmas time, don't we like just some sort of projector that we could project onto the front of the building.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Right then, we're of time longer today. Slightly, we've got Christmas events, and Claire's got an update on. She's very busy at the minute, aren't you, Claire? Lot of Christmas event updates.
So just a quick overview of the events we've got coming up imminently. Tomorrow evening we've got the Christmas light switch on. This isn't the Christmas parties, sorry, but that's happening tomorrow night. And then the actual, is this just parties or all the events we've got coming up?
Run through them all.
No, not too much detail. So tomorrow night it's the Paul Whitaker's event, his Christmas in Mumbles, which we are piggybacking. We're putting on some train rides down on the prom, which have been pre-booked with the land train all lit up for Christmas. We've had some lovely new Christmas decorations installed, which haven't been turned on yet because we're waiting for the big moment. And also we've got a bigger stage for which Anne, she's going to be adorning with Martin tomorrow evening for the big switch on at 7 p.m. So that'll be great with the road closure in Mumbles tomorrow. Then next Tuesday we've got our Christmas coffee with friends, where we're going to have some sandwiches, and the children from Oystermouth Primary School are going to come down and sing a few songs, and then just a little bit more Christmassy than usual. Then on next Friday, we have got the Newton Christmas party in Newton Village Hall, which is going to be an afternoon tea, which will be lovely. We've got Newton School children coming to sing some Christmas songs, and also a singer's going to come for like the last 20 minutes and sing some Christmas songs as well, which has all been agreed, and he's doing that for free.
Who's that?
His name is David Anson Lewis. He's great. He's from opera. Apparently, he's fantastic.
Oh, yes.
A local person.
Yeah, he's about 65. Yeah, I know. Brilliant.
So it's going to be great. Yes. So all that's in hand, and it'd be lovely to see you all there. Then, the Christmas coffee with friends is actually not next Tuesday. It's the Tuesday after, on the 10th. That's that Tuesday. And then the 12th, we've got the Christmas cheer, which is the Oystermouth Christmas party, where we will be opening the doors of the Oystermouth. All welcome, of all ages.
Everyone's welcome.
2 to 3:30, there'll be canapes, prosecco, tea, coffee, mince pies, and it's just a lovely
What date's that?
day for everybody in the community, including our traders, our tourists, our everybody.
Sorry, Claire.
It's the 12th. It's Thursday, the 12th of December, and that's 1:30 to 3:30.
Brilliant.
Then on Friday, while I'm on a roll, on Friday, the 13th of December, is the West Cross Christmas Party. That's 5 till 7 p.m. That is going to be in West Cross Community Centre, and there will be a DJ. There'll be catering from
All ages?
here. That's all family, all ages, yes. And also Santa will be in his grotto, so you can get a Santa's visit. And then the final Christmas event is on December the 20th, also at West Cross Community Centre, the Warm Hub Christmas Quiz. And there will be some wreath making there, also fish and chips, and just a lovely atmosphere. And once again, you're welcome. So it's busy.
Yeah, very.
Website, yeah.
All the posters are up, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And on the website, like in terms of the dates, yeah.
yeah, they are. And we do need a bit more information on it. A list of them there isn't, but
Yes.
there are individuals, so I will do that. But if anyone does need to contact you can just contact the office and we can give you information on.
Yeah, that would be quite. I was going to say if SA1 can put a link on to all the events and then they can click through to the poster, maybe. Perhaps something like that. But yeah, thank you so much to Claire for all the work that she's done coming up, and to Ian and to Diane. I know I've been really busy sorting everything out, these events, which is really exciting. So yeah, proud to be with you.
Happy Christmas.
Absolutely. Right then, I think that's a wrap. We just need to exclude the.
Sorry, Chair, can I come in there before you move on? Can we finalise the budget?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, of course, yeah.
We've got, if I put in 250 for the Honour of Bumbles, fired from floral decorations. If we put a small amount in for the baby loss awareness, just a figure that we can use at the moment. If it can be updated then when we get the final figures. But you've got money which it can be fired from newsletter distribution. There's £600 saving there. So if you want to put an amount in,
Yeah, I think it'll be as much as that. Which
300, 250, 300.
the thing is, these things we think they're going to cost 90 quid because it's outside and health and safety. Would it be like £1,000 or more?
Well, have a look. But all I'm saying with this as well is once it's bought, it's bought.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's going to be. I don't know.
Yeah, if you need to put a figure in now, and then can it be altered tomorrow when Claire has a bit more of
yeah,
a...
that's fine. Yeah. We just need like the way we can word the minute is that it can be updated then when we've got a more accurate figure.
Should we
Put 300 or 400.
Yeah, put 400 in then, and Claire can get back to you when she's got a bit more of a better figure from the electricians.
Once it's bought, it's bought.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives you a total budget of 116,100. So if committee can just vote on that being the figure that's recommended to council in January.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody happy with that?
Yeah, Tim, are you happy with that? Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay, thanks.
Lovely, thank you. It's making sure something for children. Right then, so now if we can exclude, I don't think we need to exclude anybody else though, because they're not on, but do you need to do something special?
Stop recording.
Stop recording.
Here we go.